What's going on, YouTube? You're back with Shades. We're gonna continue our Let's Play of Katawa Shoujo. I know it's been a while. I'm saying that because I know at this point of recording, I know I haven't uploaded in a while, but I'm trying my best to get, like, once again, stockpile recordings so that I can just not worry about, like, recording for a good amount of days or just be ahead. And, like, because I usually record like 3 videos per session and only uploading once a day. For the most part, I'll probably be able to keep up with like this. But anyway, last time we left off, we just had that really nice day with Rin at the festival. Now we're going to just go on with our day. And once again, I have no idea what's happening. This is the first time I'm playing Rin's route. And, like, it's interesting, so far, because, like, I expected Rin to be, like, the typical, like, whatchamacallit? I expected Rin to just be, like, to be odd, period, but she's, like, talking about some legit, commentary about art and how people perceive art and things like that, and it's interesting, to say the least. But, as far as, like, her in general, I've never been a big fan of Rin. She's always been just a bit of an oddball to me. I mean, they're all oddballs in their own way, shape, or form. But she was the one that was just like, not really feeling this one. Like, I thought I was gonna hate but then again, I thought I was gonna hate Shizune, and then I was like, oh, this is a pretty nice route, actually. It's not bad. But we'll see. It's already 8:30, but this morning's class has not yet begun. We were supposed to have physics, but the teacher is nowhere to be seen. Had I known this beforehand, I would have slept in too. Suddenly the classroom door slams open and Muto grunts his morning greeting to us from the doorway. Oh yeah, and like I just learned that this game was made in Ren'Py? I don't know how I pronounce that. But yeah, like I did realize a good amount of the indie visual novels I've played have been made in Ren'Py. Good morning, everyone. Muto looks like he has not slept at all. His stubble is messier than normal hair, and the stained dress shirt create a less than favorable impression. Centering my camera. I guess you had fun last night at the festival too. Excuse my being late. I ran into unexpected problems. I'm usually not one for festivals like this, but I hope you all had a good time. After all, these sorts of events are important for you all, since they give you a short reprieve from schoolwork. The class replies with various degrees of enthusiasm, and Muto proceeds to take roll and get started. Right then, today's subject is photon particle physics. Wow! That's really complex for a high school class. At least by the American standard. I took a physics class before, but that was my senior year in high school, and that was just about, like, vectors for the most part. But whatever. Maybe he's just talking about the concepts and not the math. Before long, I've descended into a comfortable coma-like state along with the rest of the class, letting Muto's rambling speeches pass through one ear and exit out the other without leaving a trace. Ah, the public school system. But then again, it's supposed to be Japan, and I'm pretty sure their school system is better. I think. Now, who could tell us the solution to this problem? He's written a rather easy equation on the blackboard. Desperately, he tries to get the class to participate. Nobody? Come on, guys. Nakai, how about you? Unfairly singled out and cornered, I give him an answer. It causes his shaggy features to twist into a genial smile that would scare little children senseless. Precisely. Good work, Nakai. I am both disturbed and honored by the fact that he can remember my name only 1 week after I transferred here. From what I've seen, Muto has a serious trouble remembering the names of anybody else in class, and most of them have been here since the first year. The room settles into a dreary mood, students and teacher alike trying to get back on track after the festival. I figure last week must have been frantic for everyone. Not a minute too soon, the lunch bell rings. Make way! Important business! I turn my head just in time to see other people scatter out of the way as someone charges from the far end of the corridor toward the stairwell. It's too late to realize I'm standing in the middle of the corridor, directly in front of the oncoming human projectile. I try to step backward to the doorway. Unfortunately, the person running toward me dodges in the same direction. In the following fraction of a second, several things come to mind in sequence, yet almost simultaneously. I'm guessing this is Rin. No, not Rin, Emmy. First, I recognize the girl who was on a collision course with me as Emmy. Second, I realized that it feels somehow very natural to be tackled by Emmy once again. I could feel almost comfortable if not for the reflexive panic and terror. Third, Emmy seems to be carrying a foot-tall stack of papers while running in the hallway. She crashes into me, but at least the impact was a grazing one on my arm this time. Owie! Why does this always happen to me? Gee, I wonder, could it possibly have anything to do with you running through the corridor like you were on fire? She whimpers regretfully, looking like a hurt puppy. The sight makes me regret my snappish comment the very instant it emerges from my lips. But I was in a hurry. Have I been recording for 5 minutes already? Jesus. Sorry. Don't worry about it. Emmy wails weakly one last time and rubs her forehead as if to expel the ache while her gaze sweeps over the hallway door. As she notices her neat stack of papers spread all over the floor in one big mess, she lets out a horrified yelp. Ah! The printouts! Oh no, what am I gonna do? Teacher will give me hell if they get dirty. They're probably fine. Let's gather them back up. It won't be a problem. We quickly round up the papers, and Emmy tries to sort out the scattered pile in her hands back into the orderly stack it was. Where are you going? Nowhere in particular, I guess. I didn't want to be left alone with Muto in the classroom. I think he has a hangover. Have you eaten lunch? Not yet, but I'm not feeling very hungry anyway. She looks at me incredulously, as if doubting my sanity for letting such a thing out of my mouth. You should go to the roof. I promised Rin I would eat lunch with her. I bet she'd like company. Uh-oh, my lunches with Rin have been remarkably unsuccessful. I know where this conversation is going, and it's hard not to get drawn along, so I have little choice but to play ball. I mean, I've been in those situations before where it's like, oh, you don't have anyone to sit with? Why don't you, eat lunch with us? And I'm like, cool, I guess. Sorry, I just did a quick zoom in because I realized when I'm leaning back in my chair, I'm really small in the camera. But, I've been in these situations before. It's, not really in high school, but in college. Because in college, especially my first couple years, I was always, content to eat lunch by myself. I would be that kid that, goes into the lunchroom and then, I didn't have any friends at the time yet. And I just, picked a random empty table. Usually I try to get the smallest table possible so I'm not, the asshole who sits at the booth by himself. I would just eat lunch and then leave. But then, later on, as I started making friends, they were just, the first thing they did when they, to indicate they wanted to hang out with me was hey, Kyle, you want to have lunch with us? And I'm like, sure, why not? But yeah, I've experienced this before where it's you're not sure if it's okay, but you're willing to go along anyway, and I'm just yeah, why not? I mean, and it turned out to be real lifelong friendships at that point, and it's just great. I say lifelong because it felt like that at the time, but now that we're all graduating or moving on to different schools and things like that, it's hard to maintain a friendship. But I have to say that the friendships that will always stay there, stay in contact somehow. So yeah. I try to maintain contact when I can. But that's my spiel, I suppose. Okay, I'll go pick up some bread or something first. Emmy smiles brightly before I say anything further. No, I'll go and deliver these super quick, and then go buy lunch for us. And Rin too, of course. What kind of bread do you like? It's fine, you really don't need to. Don't worry, it's alright. Consider it an apology. I'll be back before you know it. That's what I'm worried about. Don't get into another accident. Emmy starts walking down the hall, but since it's still God, I read way too fast. Emmy starts walking down the hall, but since she's still talking to me, she isn't watching where she's going. I won't! Famous last words. She's already jogging down the stairs as she shouts that not so reassuring promise back to me. The thing is, I've slowly learned that, these, personality tropes that, Japanese, game creators make, their, characters out to be, they're more accurate than I'd like to admit. Because I know a few Japanese people now, and, I've seen, girls of the Asian variety, with lack of better wording, because I was part of a club that was, primarily Asian-based. And, to be fair, none of these, tropes are off the mark that much. In, anime or cartoons or, a game like this, they are very, diluted and, shoehorned into that set, personality trope. But, like, they're not far off. I mean, real people are a bit more complicated, and this game shows that. Like, the surface personality is a surface personality, don't get them wrong. But also, like, the deeper inner parts of this person are more complicated, and there's a reason they act this way, and there's a reason why their surface personality is like this, and there's a reason why blah, 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 blah. But, like, yeah, and, like, meeting people like this, and I'm just like, God damn, I really wish that it was off the mark. Like, I hate character tropes that are just the trope. Like, and you don't complicate the character, and you don't give them an actual backstory or personality. They're just the trope. But then I meet people, and I'm like, you are the trope. I mean, you're your own person, like, besides the trope, which makes you, like, a real person. But when people make that, like, assumption and create a character out of that trope, I'm just like, you are not far off. Surface personality, anyway. Sighing quietly, I start plodding along in her wake, but instead of taking the stairs down, I climb upward. The stairwell up to the roof is unlit, and just as creepy as it was before. Is that all stairwells? Like, are all stairwells just creepy? Because I've been in a bunch of stairwells in my college when I dorm there, and now that I commute. Wow, my frame rate on my camera just dropped for a second. That was weird. And now that I commute, and, like, are all stairwells just creepy? Like, when people design stairwells, are they just like, no one's really gonna be in there for the aesthetic, so just, you know, put some lights in there so people don't trip, and don't decorate the stairs, and no carpeting, just like linoleum floor? Because I'm just like, you could probably decorate those. I'm pretty sure a lot of people use stairwells, except for the one stairwell I had in one of the newer dorm buildings in my campus. They were the newer ones, so they had a modern motif to them, and the stairwell was glass enclosed, and it was like white inside, and like the doorways were still ugly as fuck, but the modern window everything made it look pretty, and I'm like, I guess. But yeah, stairwells, they're always just creepy. The door squeaks weakly in protest as I push it open. Oh, that transition. Rin is there too, like Emmy said, lying on her back at the other end of the pebble-covered rooftop for some reason. Predicting something unnecessarily strange again, I walk to her as slowly as possible. Hello. She sounds very drowsy as she says that, stretching the end of the word with a slurred voice, despite that her eyes are wide open. I look down at her, my shadow overlapping her face. What are you doing? Rin raises an eyebrow. I thought you had a heart problem, not an eye problem. She answers, challenging the rationale of my perfectly valid question, without even tilting her head to look at me. Rin's smart-ass comments are infuriating. The worst thing is that I'm not sure if she's doing it on purpose or not. Alright then, let me rephrase. Why are you lying on your back on the rooftop? She gives me a lazy shrug and sniffs dismissively. I'm trying to experience. People don't do this enough. What exactly are you trying to experience here? I can't really tell, but there's probably a reason people don't do... whatever. She's playing dodgeball on me again, answering my attempt with a small talk with riddles I don't want to puzzle out. I don't want to ignore her either. Yeah, but the reason is that everyone is too busy with their lives to pay attention to the really important things, like watching the sky. Do you enjoy the color of the sky? She tears her gaze away from the sky and finally looks straight at me. The penetrating deepness of her eyes, once she focuses on them, is startling. You know, if you were a girl, I'd be able to see your panties. I mean, you're not wearing a skirt. This only applies to schools with like a dress code of like girls need to wear skirts and guys need to wear pants. I really don't understand it. Why is it like that mentality still is around? Because girls wear pants all the time. Let them wear pants. Like Jesus. Like I played Persona 4, and then when the character Naoto Shirogane was revealed as a girl, and I'm not going into the fan discourse about that, but and then like she chose to continue wearing the boy's outfit. Like, I get it that it was plot reason that she kept doing it, but to be honest, had she been like in a real person, more than likely she would have had to fight to keep wearing the guy's outfit, and like she would have been probably forced to wear the girl's outfit. And I'm like, one, the dress shirt's the same. Two, they probably, I know I think they still wear ties, right? Or is it a bow? I'm not entirely sure. But then, like, the skirt, I'm just like, why? It just pisses me off. And, like, it doesn't make sense. They're clothes. Clothes shouldn't have a gender. Color shouldn't have a gender, but they do because people are dumb and don't understand that society doesn't need to be this complicated. I don't want to go into it, but, you know, that when this topic comes up, I'm just like, whatever. Also, I realize I'm not looking directly in the camera, I'm looking at myself in the camera instead of the camera itself. I'll work on that. If I was a girl, I wouldn't have come this close to anyone who tried to sneak a peek at my panties. I have that much common sense. I wouldn't either, but sometimes it can't be avoided. Like now, for example. To tell you the truth, I don't even really want to peek at your panties, though. Underpants are the soul of a girl. You shouldn't peek at someone else's soul, even if you are not a girl. Is that... what? Someone explain that to me. Is that a thing? Is that a thing that people do? As a guy, I guess I could understand that. To us, there's some sort of half-mythical object that we can't quite comprehend. It's self-aware. It knows that young teenage boys are stupid as fuck. They're just clothes. It's underwear. It's the exact same thing as, like, underpants. If a girl wore underpants, it'd be like, good for you. They're the same thing. They're the fucking same thing. Like, yeah, that's exactly how I think about them, too. What a coincidence. It really is. So did you have the world history in the morning class? I skipped class. To do this? Well, I'm not actually doing what it looks like I'm doing. Or at least I think that's what I'm doing. It doesn't look like what I think I look like. But from your perspective, probably. Yeah, skip class to do this. I guess whatever your reason is, it's as good as any. Giving into the tired feeling in my legs, I sit down on the roof next to Rin. The pebbles are not the most comfortable bed in the world, but if she can stand it, then I should be able to do as well. What are you waiting for? Try it. I bend my neck backwards to look at where she's looking at. The silvery blue sky, dotted by herds of cloud sheep, fills my vision entirely. While it's pretty, the view is nothing special even though the weather is fair. I give a shrug, trying my best to imitate the nonchalant manner which Rin seems to have evolved to perfection, and lie down on my back. The stones poke at my back through my thin shirt whenever I shift my weight even a little, forcing me to keep as still as possible. I try to ignore the discomfort in myself, and instead try concentrating on the vastness over us. Far above, the summer clouds drift silently across the dome of the sky. Neither of us has anything more to say. The silence covers the rooftop. I have to admit, back when I lived on campus, I would love to, I always loved to on the weekend, just take a walk. Because during the weekday, I would either have class or a club meeting or some other reason to, like, leave my room for extended periods of time. And I would just come back to my room and be like, I don't want to leave. But on weekends, when literally I had nothing to do, or, like, I'm done with homework, or or just, like, you know, I have some free time. Like, if I didn't feel like playing a video game, I would just be like, I feel like going for a walk today. So I would just go outside and, like, take a walk. And especially, like, during the fall semester, I would love doing that because it's cold. I could just put on as many layers as I need to and still be able to go outside. The campus was a bit, like, not barren, but there was enough, like, open space. I accidentally threw my nail clipper. There was enough open space that there was a good amount of wind, but it wasn't, like, the worst, unless it was a really windy day. Like, I would just go outside and take a walk. And I would, like, there was, like, a general lap to go around the entire campus, and I would just walk that lap maybe once or twice. And, like, I wouldn't, like, I wouldn't power walk, I wouldn't, like, jog it or anything. I was not exercising at the time. I'm doing that now. I might look thinner in the camera, I'm not sure. What I'm saying is that, like, I would do things like this, where I would just look at the sky, enjoy the silence, or just walk with music in my ears. And, like, it was just relaxing. It was a good time. I always enjoy taking a walk on a sunny day when it's not too hot. Like, if it's like 70 degrees with a breeze and it's a beautiful sunny day with clouds in the sky, that is the perfect day for me to just go outside, take a walk, and just lose myself in the emptiness, the quietness, because I am introverted, and while I love talking to people and I love conversing and having fun with my friends, I also enjoy silence. I enjoy silence a lot, and I feel that like there are a good amount of people in the world that don't understand the concept of silence and how good it is to just sit and be quiet and not say anything, or just listen to music and let time pass. Like, I love that. It's a good feeling. It's very relaxing. And for those of you who are introverted or like just really stressed, if it's a beautiful day outside and it's your kind of day, just take a walk. Walk around a suburb, take a walk through the city. If you live on a college campus that's really beautiful on weekends, like typically on weekends, like the campus is empty. So just take a walk. Just take a freaking walk. It's beautiful. Like, it's a beautiful feeling to just be like, I don't have a care in the world right now. For the next hour or so of me walking, I don't have a care in the world. Let's finish the scene because I'm almost at my time limit. The subdued noises of students on their lunch break, cicadas in the trees, and traffic buzzing past the school are humming pleasantly somewhere in the background. That's the feeling. Listen, I had a great time yesterday. Did you? Well, to be honest, no, but it was alright. It was probably the longest time I've ever sat in one place without doing anything, which is kind of impressive. I try to make it sound as convincing as possible. Is that impressive? I think it is. I'm usually too restless to do anything like that. I think I had a good time too. A cloud passes above us, casting its shadow on the school. A chill surges through me from the sudden change of sunlight to shade. I realize that summer is not in its full bloom quite yet. The only measure of time passing is the slow pace of the clouds moving toward the town. Stray beams of golden sunlight leak through the gaps, blinding me for a moment whenever they hit me directly in the eyes. The blue of the sky looks so unreachable. This reminds me of the time I spent in the hospital, where I was bored out of my mind on a daily basis. Somehow it didn't matter after a while. I learned to appreciate other things besides watching TV and gossiping with people I didn't even like. A comprehensive sensation of calmness spreads me from my sight to my other senses, finally hitting my brain. An airplane zooms by, leaving two thin contrails in its wake like a pair of chalk lines drawn from one end of the sky to the other. I wonder where it's heading. This is the feeling I'm talking about! This is the feeling! Like, just sitting there, or just taking a walk, and not thinking about anything else! It's a beautiful feeling! I shouldn't get that hype about it, but God, it's a good feeling. The low din of its engines carries all the way down to my ears, although it's barely audible over the racket from the quad. It's nice. It's nice, but I don't understand why this is more important than going to class. Isn't it good to do something you like? Every once in a while. Oh, every once in a while. Of course, but... What are you doing? Emiya snuck up on us without either noticing, and is only a step away from me, holding several packages wrapped in plastic film in her arms. She leans forward and peeks over me, overshadowing my face almost exactly the way I overshadowed Rin before. I wonder how weird this looks, the two of us lying on our backs on the rooftop. That's what I asked too. I would be more concerned about what you're doing if I were you. I wouldn't come that close to people who could see your panties. Rin! And now that that moment is over, I'm just going to end the part here. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me or from the series, hit that subscribe button. And you're not exiting the Shadyverse. My name is Shades, and I hope you've enjoyed your day in the shade. Take a walk outside! Do it! It's good for you. I'm not joking. It's good for you. Get some vitamin D from the sun. Get some fresh air. Get some exercise in. A nice 15-minute walk is good exercise. Come on. Go outside. Go outside. Do it! Anyway, bye.